Now that's step 5. Let's go to step 6. This is exciting. Step 6 is the biggest one. In fact, if you listen to me, this could change the quality of your life. This is the one that everyone likes the most. Step 6 is about building long-term income and long-term savings. There are 2 key elements at play here. 2 financial battles you have to win the money game. Because if you don't incorporate this, can I be strong with you? The chances of you becoming financially independent won't happen. And if it does, it's way out there. Here's the 2 battles you have to win. First, the inflation battle. We'll get to that in a minute. Number 2 is the tax battle. Because it's not what you make, it's what you keep. Taxes will hurt you if you're not careful. Let's talk about inflation. Have you heard of the rule of 72? Let me explain. It's really interesting. Whatever interest rate you're earning, say at 4%, divide that number into 72, that will tell you how long your money will double. So, 4 into 72 is 18. It will take 18 years before your money will double. Here's an example. Let's say you have $100 in an account that earns 4%. If you live it and just grows at 4% in 18 years, your money will double to $200. Now, what happens in the next 18 years? Right, doubles again to $400. Now, here's the problem. Will $400 buy what $100 does now? Now, that's inflation. Let's look at the example. Let's assume you are 29 years old, okay? And you have $10,000 at 4%. 4 into 72, again, 4 into 72 is 18. So in 36 years, you've got $40,000. Now you're 65. Kids are gone, house is paid for, and you want to retire. Now you've got this $40,000 in your name. How long do you think it's gonna last you? With the way you spend, it's probably half the time. Just kidding. Maybe 1 year, maybe a little longer if you're frugal, and then you're out of money. Now you're a greeter or Walmart. Now here's the problem. You've run out of time, and who wants to work past 65? The only thing we could have changed is the interest rate. Here's the million-dollar question. If you could have had 6 to 12%, will you have now greater financial independence? The answer is yes. Look at this. At 6%, your money will double in 12 years. At 8%, your money will double in 9 years. At 12%, it doubles every 6 years. So, in 36 years, you've got $640,000. Isn't that amazing? The only difference between this guy and that guy is interest rate. Not more money, not more time. Same age, same amount of money. The only difference is interest rate. But it costs this guy $600,000. Now, Jason, isn't this a pretty important principle for you to learn? This could change the quality of your life. And you know what? It's not about having $10,000. The key here is saving a little bit on a monthly basis at a decent interest rate. If you will save for you at a decent interest rate, there will come a time that you will not be out earning your money, but your money will be out earning you. Pretty awesome, huh? So, here's the million-dollar question. Where can I get a decent rate of return that have protection of your principal? There are 3 different approaches. I'm going to give you a synopsis of each one, and then you tell me which one makes the most sense, so that I'll know what is suitable for you when we get back together. First, fixed rate approach. It's a guaranteed fixed rate. It's a low rate, approximately 2 to 3%, maybe less, which is risky because of inflation. Now, the second approach is the other end of the spectrum, which are what? Stock market, mutual funds, etc. Now, there's a potential higher returns, but with greater risk of losing your money. The third way is the index strategy, where all the principal saved is protected and all interest earned is also protected, so you don't lose money. All interest earned is linked to an S&P 500, which has averaged almost 10% per year for the last 25 years. Of those three, which one makes the most sense? The index approach. That's very popular strategy. Let me make a minute about it. You've heard of the S&P 500, right? S&P 500 is the 500 most widely held companies in the US, representing over 100 industry groups such as technology, healthcare, utilities, etc. It represents almost 7% of the total equity market capitalization, about 70% of the US economy. But get this, S&P 500 has averaged almost 10% per year for the last 25 years. If you had invested in S&P 500 25 years ago with an average of almost 10% per year, would you be happy, right? Now, if we have determined that index strategy is suitable for you, I'll then explain specific products, costs, floors, and caps, and other terms and conditions. But for now, let me give you an overview of the index strategy and how interest crediting works. Like I said, all interest earned is linked to S&P 500 index up to a cap, for example, 12%, but without any of the downside risk associated by putting money directly into the stock market. So you actually don't lose money, and at the same time, you participate in the growth of the S&P 500 index. Up to a cap, again, say, for example, 12%, without any of the downside risk. Okay, that's pretty important, don't you think? Now, let me give you an example. Let's say a few years back, you invested $10,000 in index strategy, and S&P 500 did 10% the first year. Now your money grows to $11,000, right? Now, second year, the S&P 500 grew another 10%. Now your money grows to $12,100. Okay? Now, however, in the third year, the S&P 500 loses 20%. Is it possible? Absolutely. In fact, it happened. But instead of your account value dropping to 20% at $9,600 in year 3, it remains at $12,100. It's really neat. So, you can see now why index approach is quickly becoming very popular. One of the best ways to win the rate of return battle and inflation battle is to be able to get a potentially higher growth. But Jason, you cannot just win the rate of return battle and forget about taxes. In fact, I'm going to give you an example that will shock you. Let's say 30 years ago, there was a guy who was 30 years of age, and he wanted to have $1 million when he was 60. Now, He doesn't understand any of this. So he gets into the bank and says, Mr. Banker, how much do I need to save per month for 30 years so that I can have $1 million? Back then, the CD rates is like maybe 5%, but nowadays you're lucky if you get a 1%. Anyway, it's 5%. Well, the banker figured it out and said, all you have to do is put away $1,639.29 per month for 30 years, and you'll get your $1 million. The guy was totally discouraged, and he left the bank, never saved a dime. Now he's a greeter at Walmart. You've seen him, right? Now, Jason, what if we can taught him how to win the rate of return battle and tax battle? See how it drops that number. It's almost unbelievable. Let's win one at a time. The rate of return. Let's assume he gets 10% instead of 5%. It takes the number clear down to $900 a month. However, Jason, do most people save $900 a month? Probably not. However, that's $700 less than that guy. That's significant, right? Okay, now, what if we can help him to put his money away where it cannot be taxed while it grows? Now, with tax deferral, how much does he need to put away? Look at that. $428 a month. Now, Jason, do you know people who can put away $428 a month? Yeah, a lot of people. Maybe you can do that. You're blowing that, right? You see, to a lot of people, it's not a big deal. It's not so much putting away a ton. It's about putting away what you can at a decent interest rate, reducing taxes, and avoiding loss of principal. In fact, in step 6, when we're done, a person knows how and when they'll potentially be totally financially independent. And if we do it right, we can literally shave years off that retirement date. It's really exciting, right? Now let me ask you this, Jason. If you are financially independent right now, and you have enough money in your nest egg so that every month you have enough so you don't have to go to work anymore, what would you and your wife be doing? What are your dreams? What are your goals? What would you be doing? Great! Look at this. If you were financially independent right now, you have options. And that's the point. You can do whatever you want, when you want it, and how you want it. It's really interesting. Picture this. Just the other day, we went through the implementation page with the client. That's our second visit. The wife was so excited. He gets up and says, you know, I can go door to door asking my neighbors when they're going to be financially independent. You know, nobody would know, but I do. That time, she and her husband became one. Because they knew what their dreams were and when it's going to happen. It's really exciting. That's step 6.